it's so hard.
Yeah.
Because you go deep to it that you kind of forget. And then you go into like, well, I'm not really interested in doing music anymore, and I have bills to pay and I have all this stuff. I should just stick with my 9 to 5 right now.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah. And then I was like really thinking about it, and I was like, is this it? Like, am I really just gonna work forever? If I'm gonna do that, like, I might as well do something I like to do.
Hey everyone, Reyna Torres here, and I'm super excited that we have arrived at season 2 of the Women Creating Magic podcast. I run my own creative studio, and I wanted to create a platform for amazing women to have real conversations about our experience in the entertainment industry, and just talk about that moment that we decided to take control of our lives as women. A safe and open space to sit down comfortably with a cup of tea or a glass of wine to relax and have an open conversation about their experiences as women in the entertainment industry. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, comment, and leave a review, because all of that will really help us out and keep us going. Today, I spoke with Francis Flores. She is a talented singer, writer, and well-rounded person. In this episode, we talk about feeling depressed and how to overcome it. I present to you Francis Flores. I wanted to be real, which It is real, and it's something that we don't talk about as women. You come in here, I don't know if you had a great day. Like, if I ask you how was your day, you're going to give me a generic answer, which is going to be like, oh, it's great, But, I'm going to tell you right now, if you ask me in return, a generic answer would be, oh, yeah, it's amazing. But if I'm really honest, I would be like, no, I had, a freaking anxiety attack last night. Anthony had to, literally, rub my chest and be like, breathe. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Let me breathe. And it was, a good 20, 30 minutes of me just, I'm just having an anxiety attack. Everything, there's been so many things happening that I'm just, overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But see me talking about it, I want it to be a normal thing where we ask each other, how are you, without having to feel uncomfortable with the answer or what's coming out.
No, I feel the same way. I'll be like, I'm tired today.
Yeah.
And I think that throws people off. Like, how are you? I'm tired today. And they're like, what? Why?
It's not a normal thing.
I'm just tired. I don't know.
It's not a normal thing for us to expect something negative, and it shouldn't be negative. It should just be a normal thing. It should just be if you say that to me, I'm like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. Did you want to do it today? It's totally okay if we can reschedule it for another time.
Yeah.
It's, and not think maybe I'm the wrong person for you to tell me this. There are sometimes some people thinking maybe you shouldn't be doing this with me, maybe with some friend or closer family member. And that's the thing, that's not the point. The point is just to support each other about it.
Yeah. That's something I've always been, not always. It was a work in progress, but I'm super open about that. About my anxiety and my depression.
Mm-hmm.
I'll joke about it with, friends, and sometimes newer people, and I think it throws them off. But I'm generally pretty open about it, because...
Well, we all go through it.
Yeah.
There's no exception for nobody. Mm-hmm. Everyone goes through a panic attack, an anxiety attack, and depression. I remember this one therapist had told me when I was taking... So, originally, psychology major... and all that stuff.
I have a psych degree.
Exactly. Yeah. So I had to take counseling for almost 500 hours or something like that. So it took me a whole year to like finish that. And one of the therapists had said that, you know what, depression is something, it's like a flow. Like it's highs and lows. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes they're high and you're having a depression moments, and there's low when there's nothing going on, but it doesn't necessarily mean it never happens to you.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through it. It's like, oh yeah, they have an issue, like, oh, they have OCD, or like they have family issues. No, you can come from like the most fabulous family ever, mm-hmm. supportive about everything, and you're still gonna have depression.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's why they have to differentiate between, like, depression and clinical depression.
Yes.
That just means it lasts a little longer for you.
Yeah, when you're clinical, it's just, people need to know, like, it's a chemical thing.
Yeah.
It's something that you're not generating inside your body and your brain that's causing you to go in those directions.
Mm-hmm.
That is, like, something that you need medication for.
Yeah.
But as, like, if you're not, this is our just peak moments of what we go through in our life. Not to say that people that actually are, you know, medical depression doesn't mean, like, they're not also going through it. That's just double. Like, think about it. That's them and then on top of that.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
like double, which fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And for us, it's like, what?
Yeah.
It sucks. But, yeah, nobody's really talking about it. They always think about depression being something, like, you have to be coming from, like, a fucked up family. And it's like, no.
Yeah. I mean, I was diagnosed in college. I had, like, a really rough time, but I was diagnosed with clinical depression and generalized anxiety disorder. And that was something my parents, like, didn't get because I was put on medication, and they were so anti that. They were like, no, you're fine, like, you're just young, you're 18,
I just want to make sure, ethnicity?
Mexican.
Oh, okay. Because we're Randall, but you can pull off Filipina, so.
I get that a lot.
That's what I was just like, you're Randall, so you, like,
yeah.
People are, Randall's Filipino.
Yeah, my voice teacher literally just asked if I was, like, any kind of Asian, and I'm like, no, I'm straight up Mexican.
So, but that's part of, like, the stigma
it's very
of Hispanic family. Yeah, that it's like, no, like, go to church, or, like, work, or...
Yeah,
like,
take a nap.
Maybe
you should come home. Like, I was living in Pennsylvania. I was going to school back east. So they were like, maybe you can't handle it. And it's like, well, no. Like, I started going to therapy when I was 16 in high school. That was a whole thing. I had a meltdown, and it was a whole thing. I was taking too many honors classes, and they were like, actually, you need to drop one and go to therapy. And I was just having really bad, like, anxiety attacks. I would, like, they were bad. Like, I would black out, and I wouldn't know what would go on. And they were like, that seems, my therapist was so bad, and she's actually the reason I wanted a psych degree. Mm-hmm. Because I did it out of spite, if I'm gonna be honest, because she was like, this is normal for you. Like, you're a teenager. Teenagers get anxious. You're a junior. You're graduating soon. Like, I'm sure you're just nervous about that. And it was like, I'm having moments in my life right now where I don't remember because I'm blacking out, and this doesn't feel like a normal thing.
No.
And she was like,
it's not.
She was like, yeah, well, let's talk about it more. Let's write some poetry about it. And it was like,
oh gosh.
Okay, I mean, like, I guess that helped a little.
Was she like a white lady?
How'd you know? Yes.
Yeah.
So it was very that, and I just didn't want to see her anymore. And it was like, in that moment, I was like, I could do a way better job than she could. And then I also wanted to just kind of understand, like, maybe she's right. Maybe this is super normal and everyone goes through this, but no one I knew was going through it like that.
No.
And
maybe they are, and they're just hiding with drugs and shit like that.
Yeah, and I don't know. So I got to college, and it didn't get better, and I was still having those moments. And it was actually, I think, my sophomore year. It was like dead November, 20 degrees outside. I had a really bad anxiety attack, and I blacked out, and I left my room in sandals, shorts, and a tank top. What? And I was just wandering outside. I woke up in an ambulance. Like, I literally did not know.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah.
What happened. And they took EKGs, they did all the tests, and they were like, I think this was just a panic attack. You should probably see a psychologist. So, and I went. Penn State actually offered free sessions off campus.
Yeah, a lot of campuses, community colleges, they do that. Yeah, that's so cool. How I think mine.
Everyone should utilize that, and I don't think people know.
No, they don't. I hate to say that, but they don't.
They don't, and I wouldn't have known otherwise.
Yeah.
So it's not like I was actively seeking it out. It was definitely like the hospital made me do this.
Like, you need to go.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm glad I did, and I got like an actual, like, oh, there is something. this is medical. Like,
yeah, like, you're not going crazy.
Yeah, this isn't like, oh, how fun. You just black out every so often. Like, this is something.
And it's funny how I say that. You're going to a therapist and you're not crazy. It doesn't mean you have to be crazy. Like, there's no craziness when you go to a therapist.
Yeah.
I think that's the stigma with a lot of, like, Hispanic. It's like, you gotta be, like, tienes que estar loca para, like, for you to go. And it's like, not necessarily.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they don't, you know, this is what I tell people. When you already know that you're having an anxiety or you're going through depression moments, you already recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
Our parents don't know how to recognize it, even till today. Like, if they never seek for help or anything, they just don't know. They just know how to suppress it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, for me, my family, my dad actually started going to therapy.
Oh, God.
So, you know, he's, you know.
How did that happen?
Well, he and my mom, like, separated.
Oh.
So, my dad was always, like, I mean, not always, but he wasn't necessarily, like, anti-therapy, but he doesn't like the idea of medication.
Yeah.
My mom is a little more, like, hesitant. She doesn't think, like, a therapist will help, and the last time she went to one was, like, 15 years ago, and this was a conversation I literally just had with her where she was like, well, it didn't help last time and they were wrong and they didn't even tell me it was postpartum. And I was like, well, the DSM is up a number since you've been. Like, there are things that are new. Yeah. There are new things that have come out. There are things that have been taken out. There have been some that are combined with each other. So it's very different now. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, it's very different now.
Yeah.
In the way that they test, in the way that they, you know, see comorbidity with each other.
Yeah.
So.
And also, you don't go with just one.
Exactly.
You have to. It's like if you're looking for your primary doctor,
mm-hmm.
you know, or if you're pregnant, your OBGYN. Like,
you have to shop.
You shop. Yeah, you shop.
And that's
same thing for the therapist.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's true. Like, Anthony's sister, you know, she says that right now she's doing, like, the online therapy, over the phone or Zoom. And she's like, I just haven't found one that I feel comfortable with. I'm like, well, that's what you gotta do. You gotta continue doing it. She's like, I get anxiety when I go to them. And then we're doing the Zoom meeting and I don't feel like that's intimate. I'm like, no, it's actually perfect for you. I was like, because if you're saying you're getting anxiety as you go to their location, the Zoom will actually be better. And you don't even have to have the video on. You can just have it on speaker.
Yeah.
You know, and it just gives you a little bit more, like, in tune to yourself. You have your safe space. It's just like, I've never really thought about that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, your mom... It's 15, was it like 15 years ago?
15, roughly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm hoping that if we have more conversations with her about it, maybe she'll go. And it's not even like something's wrong, she has to go. I think everyone should go to therapy at least once.
Yeah, because your comadre is not going to help you.
Yeah.
It's like comadre in church is not going to help you.
Yeah.
Not that it's not going to help you. It's just that, I don't know, my mom... Like, she's interesting. She definitely needs to see a therapist, and she refused to. And by the way, my mom, like, she had, like, a stroke about, like, 4 or 5 months ago, and her second one, and it got really bad. Like, it was really bad.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what it is, but she was just, like, the neurologist was like, well, this is psychosomatic. In other words, like, this is not just a physical thing.
Yeah.
It's also what you're thinking.
Your
it's,
mentality.
you know, after all these years, it's going to come, you know, eventually it's going to kick.
Yeah.
And it kicked. And I remember we were in an argument and I was just like telling her, well, I go to therapy, you know, as much as I can or talk to them over the phone. And that's been helping me. This is why I'm just like the way I am. And you feel like I'm resisting you or anything, but that's because I'm understanding what's going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, you have not seen a therapist. And she's like, I've seen a therapist. It's like, well, and they told me that's not how it goes. And I'm like, a therapist would never say that to you, mother. Yeah. You have not seen one yet. So she just like refuses because in her mentality she thinks that it indicates that she's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. It sucks. Because it's like a lot of like when I grew up in Huntington Park, a lot of people were like that. Yeah. And I know this because 3 of my boys have autism, and they have therapists, and they have also behavioral therapists. Mm-hmm. And having conversations with them with the LAUSD district, they were saying, yeah, a lot of Hispanic parents do not understand this and do not agree with what we do. And I'm just like, because they're not educated enough about it and let them know, and they just don't think this is like the right path. And I'm like, even special needs. Yeah. With parents like that, they're like, well, I mean, I've heard from my comadre that we can do this, and it's like, no. But I'm really happy that they're reaching out for like therapy in your family.
Yeah, I was very like open about it. Once I was diagnosed, I did tell them. My extended family knows, because no one knows how to keep a secret. No. In a Mexican family.
I just gotta tell one of my cousins, and he pretty much blabbers everybody.
Yeah. That's how you gotta do. You just tell one person, everyone's gonna know within like 10
minutes.
The
one person that tells everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll say it in the group chat. You don't gotta do much. But... No. But it was something I was open about. They'd ask questions, and I'd answer as honestly as I could. And, I mean, even though it was like, a lot of it was traumatic, I'm sure for my parents too, because I did like go through a period where it was like, I mean, I'm sorry to, I don't know, trigger warning, I guess, but there was a time where I was like cutting, and not to bleed, because I know that's like I know a lot of people do that, but it was like cutting with like random objects, and that's really what had it in when I was 16, where I had to go to a therapist. Mm-hmm. And then it was learning about other forms of self-harm, like developing an eating disorder without even realizing it. And it was just so like eye-opening.
You think about it now when you reflect to it.
It's awful.
Yeah, because I had postpartum with my 3rd baby, and I didn't know I had it. I remember I was a robot. Like, I had to do what I had to do, and then my ex would be like, the minute I would get home, you would just, like, shut off, and you wouldn't take care of the baby, and I would have to take care of the baby, and I was like, I don't remember that. I tell him, like, I don't remember being like that. Yeah. I don't remember. He's like, yeah, I remember you being very robotic. You took care of them. You did what you had to do. But the minute I got there, you were just like, nope. Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I started going back I went to Cerritos and Cal State Long Beach. And then I started really putting the puzzles together. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, I was really postpartum, like, to the point where I was blocking out a lot of that information.
Yeah, and that's something I feel like everyone's also afraid to talk about. It's like not just the depression, but like pregnancy hormones and like the stuff that comes from that. Because there's postpartum depression, there's postpartum anxiety, there's prepartum depression and anxiety, and that can last for so long, and it can alter your brain chemistry permanently. Yeah. Your people behavior, that didn't have that prior can have it after. Yeah. And if I'm honest, that scares the crap out of me. Because I learned that and I was like, oh my God, I have issues now. Like, you're like, if I'm a baby, if I get pregnant, what are the hormones going to do to my brain? And I like kind of brought it up as like a joke to Randall, and we were like talking about it. Because I was like, this is the thing I learned today, and it scared me. And and he was like, but what if it fixes it? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it could.
But that's a risk.
I know.
That's a very big risk.
It is. So yeah, I knew I had it because I had just had my son, and then I got pregnant right away. And I was like, ugh, fertile. God. So my 2 boys are literally a year and a month apart. Yeah, so it makes perfect sense to, growing up they thought they were twins. Yeah. It makes perfect sense to why everything was messed up and crazy and everywhere. And when I think I was 20 years old. When you're 20. Oh my God. Yeah, I already had 3 kids by the time I was 20. Before I was 21, I already had 3 kids. And I you guys will get a podcast about me talking about that stuff. Like, I'll tell you about my story. But I think that's why it hit me so damn hard.
Yeah.
I was still, like, I remember that was, like, my hardest pregnancy because nothing had, went back to its place in my body and chemistry and my organs and everything. So having to get pregnant again and going through that, oh, God, it was so painful because once he dropped, I was just like, freaking hurt. It hurt, and I was like, why is it hurting? And they explained to me it's because you just had a baby and then you had this one, and you're not all that great down there.
You're not, like, realigned yet.
No, my muscles were really, like, weak and stuff, so yeah, which made sense for me now thinking about it, why it hit me so damn hard and I don't recall things. Yeah, and it happened, and that wasn't the first time. It had happened to me prior. My sister made aware of this. So when my mom got cancer, she had cancer in her uterus, so they had to they had to, like, remove everything.
Yeah.
And there was 3 months. At the time, vacation was about 2 months, 3 months. And my sister's like, you don't remember us we weren't in the house for, like, 2 months. You don't remember that? And I was like, dude, I don't remember that. Like, I remember taking care of Mom.
Yeah.
And at the time, I think I was, like, 14 or 15 years old, and my mom was, like, out of the hospital, almost died, because that day that they did surgery on her, they used some kind of, I don't know, they used some kind of numbing that, like, she's allergic to, and she almost freaking died. And when she came back, nobody else can take care of her. Like, they can, like, they would come and visit, but I was the one pretty much off vacation, and I had to take care of her. And I don't remember, I told her, I remember taking my mom a bath, giving her food and all that stuff. She's like, but you don't remember us being there at all? And I was like, no. She's like, we weren't there. Like, you didn't realize, like, where's Jessica, where's Joshua? I was like, no. No.
I mean, it's probably trauma response.
It was trauma.
Yeah.
It was definitely trauma because I told her, for the life of me, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't. I told her, like, I barely remember, like, how I was taking care of my mom.
Yeah.
It was super, for a 15-year-old, that's traumatic.
Yeah.
See, and that's how I was able to, like, reflect back. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And then you reflect back from relationships and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Once you study psychology, people.
Oh, my God.
You literally start.
It's, like, the best, worst thing you could do for yourself.
It is.
And I think a lot of people fall down the rabbit hole of diagnosing themselves.
I don't.
Okay,
so the number one thing, I do not do that to myself.
No, me
I
neither.
do not. I do it to him and to friends.
Yeah.
But I keep it to myself, and then I'll tell him.
I'm in severe denial that anything is wrong. Like, I need to go see somebody.
Oh, no. I'm not in severe denial. I just don't, like, I recognize it, and I'm just like, okay, I know what to do.
Yeah.
So I'll do it. That's what I'll do. Like, I know it's, like, last night when I was having the anxiety and panic attack, I was like, instead of shutting up and not saying anything about it and not telling him, I was just like, what did I do? What did I tell you?
You just said, hey, I think I'm having an anxiety attack.
Oh, I do that too.
Yeah.
Just straightforward.
Yeah, and I was just like, I think I'm having a little, and I say, little anxiety attack. Little. And I was like, and I knew I didn't want, because, again, if you know this, if I'm saying little, it's because I feel guilty to tell him.
Yeah, you're trying to diminish it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, and then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, I can't, like, all of a sudden I'm just like, I can't breathe. I was like, can you just, like, rub my chest?
Yeah.
just stay. And he got close to me, and he's like, you're okay, breathe. And I'm like, okay, I'm breathing. So it's like 20 minutes of that. And finally I felt good, and I was like, I'm fucking getting topless. I need to, like, so, but yeah, like, shit like that happens, and I knew that I shouldn't shut up about it, and I should have said something to him, because he knows how to take care of me in that way.
Yeah.
You know? And then Anthony also goes through things, like, men go through things too. That's just, I know this is all about women, but men too, you know? You know your partner.
Yeah. And, like, he didn't know until he was kind of helping me through my stuff, and I remember, like, we were laying down one day, and he said, I think I'm depressed. And I was like, I think that's the first time you've ever, like, openly, not just admitted it, but recognized that about yourself. And not put yourself down about it. Because it sucks, but, like, you know, it's okay.
The first step is to admit it. Yeah. To actually say it out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, like, and I was just like, okay, what can I do about it? He was like, I don't know. And I said, okay, then we'll lay here until you figure it out. And you don't even have to figure it out today. It doesn't have to be within the next 5 minutes or the next hour. You just have to go through it.
Yeah, and that's how we should, like, this is how I say when we ask people how you are. That's how we should be with that other person, you know? It's not a normal thing. It's not norms, and I hate that. I hate that it's norms. And whenever I mention this to all the women that sit here, they're just like, you're right. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. I was just like,
yeah,
exactly.
No, I do not tell people I'm, like, great if I'm not.
Yeah, yeah. Like, my next door neighbor, he's, like, he was in the elevator, and I'm like, how are you doing? He's like, well, he straight up was just like, it's not the best morning. It was pretty shitty. And I was just like, finally, somebody who's, like, just open about it and just said it. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm so sorry about that. Like, well, it's going to be, you know, like, just have a smile on your face, you know, keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think one of Dr. Duff from Cerritos, she's one thing she ended up telling me was, it's, have a smile. Mm-hmm. If you're having a shitty day, take a walk and just smile.
Definitely fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it, yeah. She's like, by the end of that walk, watch. You might still feel the same, but at least you're smiling and, you know, you committed to something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard. But you guys can do it. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't usually do, like, the take a walk route. I used to, like, in college, but it was college town. I don't feel safe doing that here.
No, I'm more the hiker and beach thing. Like,
okay.
I need to either hike or go to the beach.
I do chores.
You do chores?
Okay. I'll be like, I feel funky. I'm gonna wash dishes, or I'm gonna go grocery shopping and meal prep. I need to feel productive.
Ah.
And then
see, that's like my OCD. Like I like for me, it's like if I clean. It's funny for me. I love to clean my house, but my mom lives with me, so she's a clutter freak. So lately, I've been like taking the power. Like, this is my house, so it's gonna be the way I want it, lady.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want with your room. And so I've been trying to like eliminate a lot of stuff, but that's like my OCD ass. Like, I like my house because my garage I converted into a room. Mm-hmm. So my house is detached from the garage. So my house is like clean. It's nice. You know, it's taken care of. But my room is my safe haven. So there are days where I just like, like, I don't care. But it gets to a point where I'm like, yes, I do care. I need to go in and clean because I feel like a filthy person, even though it's just clothes. But then at the same time, I'm like, God damn, I need to get rid of some clothes. I have too many.
I do that constantly.
I do not have a shopping problem. I just like clothes. That's it.
I don't even really like
I'm not saying it's a problem. It's just I love clothes and
oh, it's never a problem.
No, it's not a problem. No. And I bargain shop, so it's like I do bargain shop. I do. Because there's a picture of me with this red velvet dress that we went to a gala. Mm-hmm. That dress just cost me $16, but it doesn't look like it's $16.
I love that.
I was like, no.
I need to find a good like thrift store.
I just go to Didi's and Ross, and I just like see something good and I just go for it. Or Walmart. Walmart's starting to have really good stuff.
Sometimes.
You gotta go to the nice ones.
Yeah, I think that's what it is because everything in my area.
No, go to the nice ones. Like the one in Beach and Imperial. I think it's Brea.
Oh, well, it's Brea. That makes sense.
Yeah. But it's close to where you're at.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
It's nice. And Target,
I love Target. I'm sorry.
Okay, Target is good, but do not tell me there hasn't been a moment where it's like the little pray house or whatever that shit that...
Okay, yes. I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Did it not happen?
Awful. The summer, awful.
Exactly.
Couldn't get anything.
Like, I love Target. I
Yeah.
buy stuff from Target. I freaking love Target. But there was a moment where it was like, what are they
Like-
trying to dress us up as? Like,
Yeah.
are we back in like the 1800s?
Yeah, they were
Like-
very confused. They went from like the 1800s to like the 1990s.
Did you see all the 90s clothes?
yeah.
Okay, so, because I'm a lot older than you. So, that I found out after that stupid fireplace where he's all like, she's older. I'm like, what? She looks great for being like, what? But I remember there's an outfit that they had in Target, and I was like, fuck, I wore that. I was like, this is making me feel old, and I'm not old. I swear there was an outfit identical to what I wore when I was like 13.
Oh my god.
And I was like, and I had the urge to want to buy it. I was like, no. Not doing
Not
that.
just for nostalgia's sake.
No, I was
Can't
like,
do
I
it.
can't do this.
One of my sister's friends, they're 21.
Ugh.
So you can imagine.
So they're like,
Y2K
this is so cool.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
oh,
Y2K
jeez.
fashion is coming back in.
Y2K?
Yes.
Serious?
Yes. Which,
Wait,
Why?
That's really ugly.
right? Okay, so she posted a picture
That
on
reminds me of
Instagram
Hillary
the other
Duff
day.
and shit like that.
She posted a picture on Instagram the other day about how she missed the low-rise jeans era. And I was like, babe, those are not low-rise jeans. They're mid-rise at best. Just because it's under your belly button doesn't make it low-rise. You weren't there. Low-rise barely covers your genitals.
And also it left a mark.
Yes, I was not allowed to have low-rise jeans. My parents were like, absolutely not. Can you find it at the swap
Low-rise
meet?
jeans,
No.
if you've worn them all the time, left you a mark. And it stayed there.
They're still there, I'm sure. I
Yeah.
was very fortunate to have parents that were like, absolutely not. They're like, no. No. Are you kidding? So, but I was like, I told my sister, I was like, you need to tell her something. Because those are not low rise.
That's fucking
Those are
Hillary.
mid-rise, and
like-
you're lucky you have mid-rise.
Yeah. Because they don't sell tangas like that anymore. Like,
No.
there's no tangas like that. There's none.
The fact that they were legal is so, like, there needs to be a certain amount of coverage.
There was not. It was like close to your coochie. So you had to
It's
make
too
sure that the
close.
crack of your coochie wasn't long because you'll be able to see that crack
I
coochie.
know.
Not the
You
butt
had-
and the butt coochie.
And I
the
was
butt,
just gonna say,
and
you
the
had to
butt.
have no
So if you had
ass to
high
wear
crack,
those.
you had high crack butt, front and back, you can't wear them.
I couldn't
No.
wear those. My ass is too big. It was not. No,
I couldn't-
Mid-rise jeans are low-rise on me
I
for
didn't
that
wear
reason.
them. I didn't
No,
wear them
I didn't
because
either.
I have butt and
Yup.
it looked weird. And on top, it just didn't look right.
It's not flattering
No,
anywhere.
No. And I used to hate that time too because it was nothing but those fucking pants. And I'm the type who likes to raise them really high.
I love a
and
high-rise jean.
and it squeezes my fupa.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, I feel good.
Yep. I need them to.
But these were not like that. They were like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I had to get
nothing.
Levi's. I remember having to get like a bunch of Levi's because they're the only ones like the 501s that like stay up.
I had like gaucho pants.
Yeah, dude, I'm seeing all that stuff and I'm just
They're
like,
coming back, and I'm like, put them back. Leave them in the 2000s.
look, maybe they're like, no,
No.
not
I
even
saw
maybe.
a Paul Frank sweatshirt at Target.
Oh.
Paul Frank. I was like, Mom.
Oh.
And I loved Paul Frank when I was younger. But they were expensive. And they're still expensive. I'm like,
But
this is like vintage, right? Like,
No.
why is it still $50?
No, it shouldn't be. No.
It's a monkey.
No. Just like.
I'll go
no.
dig up like the old, what was the other monkey? The Bobby Jack ones?
Yes.
I had those too.
Damn, I can't believe they're actually starting that off. Like,
It's
that
coming
is
back.
so weird.
And I'm like, why?
No, it's so no, the stupid layering and it was like not even matching and the scarf and the bangles. Even
I'm
the,
not mad at
even
the scarf.
The purses were funky.
They were so tiny too. What do you put? Well, we didn't have cell phones. So we weren't putting things in our purses but lip gloss.
No, we weren't.
But now people have cell phones.
Yeah,
So
that's, like-
what's fitting in there realistically?
That's why I have like these cases because it's like
That's
a
so
statement. But yeah, oh god, no, I don't want to see that. But Target does have nice clothes.
The jeans, I got all my work pants because I'm back to hybrid work, which is actually terrible.
Oh.
But I did get work pants. All of my
like
long
actual
sleeve.
like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. My jeans, all Target.
Like there's these jeans I really want to get from Target. They're like super baggy because you know the chola look is back too, right?
For why?
Like the chola look, like baggy jeans, small top, and I'm like.
My parents would kill me dead if I ever wore that when I was younger. I mean, now they can't. I mean, I'm grown, but
I remember the brand was Solo or something like that. And it was like these for men. It was men pants that you had to buy.
yeah.
That one baggy. But I found these really cute baggy jeans and I was like, oh, I can totally dress that like very like nice, you know, not fucking chola looking.
Yeah.
God, I can't believe you have to buy nice dressy pants.
It's awful.
That sucks.
Yeah, and then, it's getting colder. I had to get like long sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
Because layering is your friend in the winter.
Oh God, yes. That sucks. Well,
Yeah.
how did you start doing what you're doing now? If we let everyone know what you're doing now, like what you're passionate about.
Well, I actually just finished my semester at Rio. I did voice and I was doing theater. But I started doing all that I did like a musical, my first musical in high school. I was a junior, and we did Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
like that.
I was in the ensemble, and also I had like a 30-second solo as Skip Snip, the talent agent. And because my voice was super low, so I actually played a man.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So it was really cool, and but I've been singing like my whole life. My grandpa was a mariachi.
Oh.
He was one of the first in his little town in Mexico. So I grew up with that. So I grew up singing with him and
Oh, cool.
doing all that. My whole family on my dad's side is fairly musical. They all sing.
So the music in the end is like bum bum.
Yeah. Yep. Every song. Every song. But I've been doing that my whole life. And then I didn't really do like a choir until like high school. So I was just so shy.
Yeah.
I did it my junior year, and that's when I auditioned for the musical. And then they had, at Downey, they had a jazz choir, and they were super, like, elite. So, I actually met Randall my junior year, and he helped me audition for the jazz choir for my senior year. And I did jazz choir as well as advanced choir, and then I did the musical my senior year of high school. And we did Starmites, and I don't know if anyone knows what that is. It's the weirdest musical I've ever done.
Starmites?
I don't even remember what it's about. It's about this girl. She wants to be like a superhero in like space.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically the whole thing is like a fever dream. It's literally a fever dream where she goes to sleep and she like wakes up in this like world where she's a superhero, and there's like this whole thing. And Randall actually played this lizard thing that ended up being the villain at the end.
Oh.
It's so weird. It's literally a fever dream. It's so weird. I played a banshee named Balbraca. And it was wild. It was so weird.
Oh, that's very weird.
Yeah.
A lizard and a banshee. Yeah.
Yeah. So fun.
And she's a superhero.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's our drama teacher was he's an odd guy. So,
Well, that's good because you remembered.
yeah. Yeah, I tell people about it. They're like, "What is Starmites?" And I was like, "You know what? I don't know. I couldn't even listen to like the soundtrack on YouTube because it wasn't anywhere. It's still not anywhere. Like, it's weird.
Oh, wow.
It's so weird. It's definitely like one of those off-Broadway things like, that no one really knows. I don't know how we found it. And then I got to college. I didn't do anything my freshman year because I was just kind of adjusting, and I was auditioning, but I was still so like in my shell. And then sophomore year, I auditioned into Women's Chorale.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an all-women's choir, and it was so cool. And then I did that my junior year as well as university choir and then senior year. And then I didn't do anything outside of, like, Christmas songs with Randall. I don't know. I felt kind of like, well, I gotta work now. I don't have time to be super, like, musical, and, you know, I've got bills and student loans. So, like, you know, I got a job, and it was very much the imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I don't feel like I'm not as creative as like everyone else. Like,
which is something we all do.
Yeah, like, I don't write my own music. I can't play the piano or, like, an instrument. Like, I can pick out notes on a piano. My music theory isn't great. My sights reading isn't great. So it was very much like, I'm not like a musician. I just sing sometimes.
Mm-hmm. But what kind of, like, made you do what you did this semester?
I got tired of feeling like that. I don't know. I really missed, I don't know.
You were your own enemy, basically.
Yeah. I missed singing, for one thing. And also, I wanted to do something outside of my comfort zone. Because it's a voice class. It's opera. I've never done that, and
it's not easy.
It's so hard.
It is.
It's so hard, and I'm actually so lucky I was technically classically trained in choir in college.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of the same kind of music, so it's a lot of the same kind of technique.
Mm-hmm.
And doing it, I was like, okay, like, I actually know a lot more than I thought I did for the past, like, years. And it's something outside of, like, Randall, because a lot of it too is, I feel like I put my musicianship and musical identity with Randall's, which isn't fair to me or him.
No.
Because he's his own person, his own musician.
No.
He's on a different kind of level, and that's because he's worked to get there.
But that doesn't mean that it's better.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make him better or make me worse. It just means it's different.
No.
And we have different goals with that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I get it. Because with Anthony, it's the same thing where I get jealous sometimes with Anthony, where I'm just like, I remember I had recognized that in the beginning where I would get jealous and I'll be like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I, like, jelly on that? And I knew why. And whenever you're feeling jealous is because it has nothing to do with that person. It has to do with your own expectations. Mm-hmm. It's your shit. So that means, what is that you're lacking in your own shit? You know? And when I started recognizing that more, the more good things that was happening to Anthony, the more I was happy, and the less I was, like, feeling jelly about it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, cool. Motivation to, like, I gotta, like, if he's gonna be this, I gotta, like, power up to myself, but in my own way, like, in my own stuff.
Yeah.
And the more I recognized it, and the more I was just like, all right, cool. Like, and it's hard because people, let's be real, like, when you have partners, you're going to be jealous of your partner.
Yeah.
It's true. It's not something we don't talk about. We don't mention. I think this is the first time that he's ever heard me say this. Because I've never told him this, because I've always been like, like, you don't need to know. I'm working it myself. Like, I understand what's going on. But we all do get jealous of our partner if we have similarities of, like, the industry, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know that I felt jealous. It was more of, I felt like I wasn't enough. Because that's his whole life. Yeah. Music is his whole life. Yeah. As it should be. He works very hard to do what he does. Mm-hmm. And I'm over here like, I can sing harmonies on your song sometimes. And it just, like...
But that's the thing. Like, jealousy has its own spectrum.
That's true.
So what you were feeling was that, but it wasn't, like, what we think of jealousy. Because what we think of jealousy, what's been, like ingrained in us, is sort of like, I'm so jealous of how she looks, and she looks so freaking amazing. Like, no. Jealousy has a whole fucking spectrum of it. And that's what we feel. And once we start recognizing that, we were like, okay, what is it? Like, what's going on here? Like, it has nothing to do with that. But... like you said, like, you recognize how hard he worked on it, and you're just like, I can like do a little bit of this, and that's just you trying to put yourself out there and be like, well, there's something lacking that I need to add from that. Something what you're doing is what I'm loving.
Yeah.
And I need it for me.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a lot of conversations we had, because he noticed it. Mm-hmm. He's very intuitive. Yes. He reads me a little too well. But he was like, let's have a talk about this, because it feels like you're upset at the things that I'm doing. Because he's winning awards. He's the musician of the year. He's the guitarist of the year. And I'm like, I'll sing with you on a Christmas song. And and you know, and then I retreated, because I stopped wanting to do stuff like that. And he was like, you know, I love you. I'm always going to love you. But we met doing music. So it feels like something has shifted in our relationship where we don't have that shared love anymore for music. And I was like, yeah. And I had to be honest with myself and with him. Like, I'm very anxious about this, because I feel like I should be better than I am, or I feel like I should, maybe I don't have, I don't know, I also like, I don't have the look to be doing this kind of thing. And that was a whole other thing.
Yeah, it's the doubts. It's doubts. It's those things that I talked of, like we were mentioning earlier, about how we like just put ourselves down, and we just, the more we do it, the more we're just saying, you know, maybe this is not right.
Yeah.
And we have to get away from that mentality. Yeah. And just like, all right, that's not true. You know, and then we have to like, the battle, it's like if you ever work in retail, you're always going to remember that bad fucking customer. Yeah. But you never remember the good ones.
Oh my God.
So it's the same thing as...
Randall says this to me all the time. Yeah.
No, but it's true. We overweigh our bad, and we talk about it so much that we don't talk about our good. Yeah. Or we don't tell that to ourselves. Yeah. You know, like we don't say like, okay, you know, let me do this exercise. I'm talking all this shit. Okay, now let me like talk about the good stuff. What's good? And I do that where I'm like, okay, I can't do that to myself. Like, shut up. Like, stop telling that to yourself. And that is years of practice. It's years of like stopping yourself and telling you, okay, stop. Yeah. Like, don't think that way, because then you're going to trickle down in a little area that you're not going to want to go to. And just thinking about the good stuff, you know, and it's so hard. Because you go deep to it that you kind of forget. And then you go into like, well, I'm not really interested in doing music anymore, and you know, I have bills to pay and I have all this stuff. I should just stick with my 9 to 5 right now. Yeah. That's what happens.
Yeah. And then I was like really thinking about it, and I was like, is this it? Like, am I really just gonna work forever? If I'm gonna do that, like, I might as well do something I like to do. And, like, expand on that skill. Because it's a skill. Like, as much as it is a talent, I'm working on it and fleshing it out. Yeah. So that it becomes a full-fledged skill. It is. But, and I'm honestly, like, I have a great manager who worked with me on that, because it is during the day. It's during work hours. So, I had to talk to him and be like, hey, like, you know, it's a hour and a half long class, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Can I just take a long lunch and do it? And he was like, I don't care. Just work your 8 hours.
As long as you do your 8 hours.
Yeah. And he was and like, I know not everyone has like a manager like that.
No, it's hard.
A workplace like that. But
no, it's hard.
He's been really cool about it, and a few of my team members and my lead even, they came out to see like the play and the musical and the
to get to see the work that you've been doing. Yeah, but that means you were going to school and working your 8 hours.
Yeah, more than 8 hours, but yeah.
Yeah, your schedule the day was like a 12-hour shift. Mm-hmm. You still have to count the minute you get up, go pee, brush your teeth, eat, and drive, and then come home. Eat, pee, brush your teeth, go to sleep. Like, it's a full days of work.
Yeah.
It's not like...
A lot.
Because people don't see that concept of time. They just know, like, when you clock in and when you clock out, it's like, no, homie, there is the before I clock in and after I clock out. There is still, like, all that gap.
There's so much going on.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Well, what do you do to kind of, like, get away from that? Get away from those thoughts?
I keep myself really busy.
like
no.
Like meal prepping?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I kind of...
Because you and Randall were doing that a lot.
We still do. I mean, I do a lot of it, yeah. I'm home a lot. I work from home, so on my break, I'll go start, like, a load of laundry. I don't know. I try to be as productive as I can. That way, I feel like... I don't know. I feel like I need to do things to deserve to unwind. And that's not healthy. I know that's not healthy fully. But I don't know how to, like, relax. I'll listen to music. I'll go outside and, like, I like being in my car and just kind of chilling. I smoke, so...
That's your relaxation time.
Yeah.
Nobody says that sitting down, crossing your legs, and meditating is the time for you to fucking relax.
Yeah.
That is not it. The relaxation is when you find peace.
Or TikTok, unfortunately for me.
Yeah, I do that too. I do that. I tell them I need to think, I need to, like, unwind and see stupid shit. So I'm like...
Yeah, and then your For You page comes up with, like, a sob story, and then you're crying, and it's like, okay, it's time to get off TikTok.
Dude, what was it? I'll say something, and then fucking TikTok, or, like, if I pay attention to something too long, and I'm like, oh, why is it giving me all this algorithm? Like, okay, get off of it, get back on it. And I was like, I don't want, like, I think I was watching the Koreans winning the FIFA. They had a moment of it, and then all of a sudden there was, like, a lot of Korean shit going on. I was like, no, get off of it. Or one time my daughter was on my iPad, and when I was on TikTok on my phone, I was like, why am I getting so many, like, kitty stuff?
No.
And it's because she was on it on the iPad, and the algorithm was kitty stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it was so annoying. So freaking annoying.
Yeah, I think I had one of Miss Rachel. We live with our niece. So she watches Miss Rachel religiously.
What's Miss Rachel?
She is, like, she's for kids. She sings the alphabet, and
How old is she?
I don't know. She looks fairly young, maybe in her 30s.
No, I mean you're...
Oh, my niece!
Yeah, I was
stupid.
just like, damn, she's old.
1.5.
Oh, yeah.
She's baby.
Yeah, they entertain, yeah.
Yeah, so I recognize it. I'm singing the songs, and Randall's like, you're here too much. I'm like, you have no idea. And I'm like, this version of London Bridge goes off. So good. And he's like, shut up. It's London Bridge. And I'm like, you don't understand. And then watch, they're going to bring out the guitar right now. And then they start, and he's like, that's enough. So the other night, we're like scrolling on TikTok, and Miss Rachel comes on my TikTok, and I'm like, this is enough. Even my phone is starting.
Yeah, it picked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Not interested. Don't ever show me her again. I already have to watch her on YouTube.
Oh, jeez.
But
I mean, that's your piece, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like, people need to know out there that when you're having a peaceful moment, not necessarily means, like, it has to be silence.
Yeah.
Or what we typically think it's, like, in a room, drinking tea, reading a book. Like, no, that's not. You find what works with you. You know? And then whatever works that kind of sets you to relax and just not think of things too deeply, then you're fine.
Cleaning actually does help me a lot. A lot with that. I don't know when I turned into my grandma, but I cannot be at peace until I know everything's clean. Like, there's nothing left to do.
I clean. I think when I start cleaning, I just put the music on, and I'm just like, all right, I gotta do this, and like, leave me alone. Yeah. Like, I literally just tell people, like, let me just clean this and do this the way I want it to do. Yeah. Go away.
And Randall's like, do you need help? I'm like, honestly,
no,
I got it.
Okay.
Because you don't know where things go sometimes.
Yeah.
And, like, you'll put it away, but it's not right. And
then, exactly. Like, right now I have to do a whole spring cleaning, and it's December, but I have to do the whole spring cleaning. I have to do that because we have to, like, deck the whole house, like, paint it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then my mom always am saying, like, it's best to paint in the summer. I'm like, well, I'm gonna not go that direction. Like, I get to do what I want. I pay for this freaking house. Like, I get to do what I want with this house.
It's hot in the summer. I feel like it's easier.
It's hot. It's because it dries, but my mom doesn't know that there are actual paints that dry fast now. That they're meant to dry fast. Like back in the day, maybe it took forever.
Yeah.
But nowadays, there are paints that literally you bit and it's dry.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's actual paints that like actually set a lot faster now.
That's so cool.
Yeah, unless you're like doing latex, like for mold.
Oh, okay.
Or kitchen.
I'm allergic to latex, so.
Well, there's latex paint, and I think I'm not sure if it's latex, but I do know that there's a certain paint that you need to use for bathrooms and kitchen.
Oh.
For moisture. Especially for
Okay,
bathrooms.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's latex. It has like latex in it or something. Yeah, because it's like very shiny.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really penetrate.
Yeah.
So those are the ones that take a minute, but even then, the ones that are created now, they still dry way faster than it was like 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, like nail polish.
Yes. Oh, there's this new nail. Okay, so I have one. It's instant dry nail polish. Oh, I just put like
Sally
one
Hansen?
coat and it's done, and I'm like,
that. Love her.
I have it on right now, but it's kind of fading away. But
yeah,
it like I need to buy more.
That's the only kind I buy.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time to wait.
No.
I mean, I do, but I refuse
to
wait.
But if you do on your toes, I'm horrible with that.
Because
I bump into something or I just can't stay still to have my feet like.
Yeah.
So if I get a pedicure, they're like, "Do you want gel?" It's like I want nothing. I don't want to deal with anything. Just clean.
I don't paint my toenails.
No.
I get manicures, but I haven't been in a minute. My nails are breaking.
Oh no.
The last time I went was before the play. I had to get this like bright red because 80s.
Yeah.
But then my nails broke off right after.
Oh,
and I had a performance this past Wednesday, and I was like, this is cool.
There's a nail shop here that just opened.
Oh, really?
And they have a bar. Yes.
That's kind of cool.
I need to go there because we usually do our pedicure with this chica, Nika.
Cool.
It's like, Nico, we love Nico. But there's this place, and they have a bar, and they have, like, Stella Rose and champagne and stuff like that.
I might have to tell Randall, because he usually gets a pedicure while I get my nails done.
Oh, it's really nice looking. Like, when you leave, just, like, walk that way just to look at it. Because literally when you walk right here, it's, like, 3 business away. And it's right there, and it's, like, ridiculously cool.
I'm down. I might be down to try that.
Because I remember seeing it, and I was like, you guys have a full bar? Like, oh, yeah, we have this. And I saw the Stella Rose, and I thought of it, I was like, I think we have a new place to go to. Because I don't mind. I don't mind having my feet done and then drinking.
Yeah.
That's
when
awesome.
I put him on pedicures, game over.
Oh, gosh. So imagine drinks.
I think he'd love it. He might feel fancy.
He might feel fancy and be like...
As he should.
It's very fancy looking, but I love that.
Yeah.
I love how it looks. And I was like, the bar sold me. So I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, I want that. I want to have, like, my toes done and drink
sounds
Stella
really
Rose.
cool.
Yeah. It's right here, and they just opened up. So it's all fresh. Yeah.
I'll have to let him know. 'Cause we were just talking about that. I was like, I need my nails done. You haven't had a pedicure in ages. And he was like, can we please?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he loves it. Jeez, yeah. Yes. 'Cause he's all like, he's massaging her, like, she's massaging him, and he's like, just look at him like, you're really enjoying this, aren't you? It's so funny. So what are you building yourself for what you're experiencing now when you went to school and stuff? Like, what is your goal?
I don't know. I don't have, like, an end goal.
What's your short-term, like, goal, I guess? For what you're doing for music, like, I'm sure this is what's giving you an inspiration to move forward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe networking. I would like to continue doing something in this capacity outside of work. But, you know, my next semester coming up has to be my last because my boss's boss is not as cool. So I can no longer take time out of my day after this semester. Unfortunately. So
That sucks.
yeah, but I mean,
I would say look into the Latinos theater company. They always hire.
Yeah, Randall was like, do something outside of a school. Go to, like, a community theater. I would love to start working on maybe my own music. Writing is so hard, but I feel more confident that I could sing what I would like to.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I sing anything, really.
But it's always finding your thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even covers. I would be cool to start with, like, covers. Randall's been dying to get me to
Oh
start.
my gosh,
and
yeah,
I'm
I
like,
bet
I'd
he
love to,
has.
like, he's excited. His next project,
What
I'm
Christmas
sure.
one have you done the like what's that one famous duo? It's
Baby,
very
It's Cold
naughty.
Outside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah, I gotta hear that one.
It's so old. Randall and I, every year since we've been dating, have done a Christmas song. So that's like 10 years of Christmas songs. We have so many.
I should totally record it and just like a whole.
They're on YouTube.
I gotta watch them. I gotta watch them.
I'll send you.
You have to send me. You have to send me. But
Yeah.
like, I gotta see that one. Now I'm really invested.
We were
like,
babies. Babies. Our first one was Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and we were 18. I was 18.
Aw.
Wait, 18?
18.
18, and I think he had just turned 19. It was like my first year back from college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should totally look into like companies, like theater companies, and see if they're hiring because
Yeah.
they're always hiring. That's how Linda Chavez,
Mm-hmm.
she worked there first. And
okay.
then, you know, she's a director now, and
Mhm.
they gave her an award. That
That's so
same
cool.
company.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa. And she started off as like accounting or something up there. And I was like, what the heck? So just like literally start directing your, like if you're going into this tunnel of like music
Mhm.
and doing, like or theater, try to find positions that are like correlated to that.
Yeah.
That's like the best thing to do because then you're in that industry.
Yeah.
So it should be good.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do something like that. My boss was like, don't quit your day job. And I'm like, you are my day job. Like,
My day job, like,
I'm not going to tell you
yeah,
if I'm going to
exactly.
quit my day job
Yeah.
yet. But, no. But I'd love to keep doing something outside of work with this. Like, this
Yeah.
has been I'm so tired, but it's a good tired.
Yes.
Like, it's so much. There were moments where I was overwhelmed, and I was like, why did I do this? I'm so tired all the time. Especially, I hadn't done the, like a show as well as voice at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I started this year, it's just been this year. In January, I started my first voice class, which was horrifying. Singing in front of people was very scary first starting out again, because it was one of my biggest fears. I still get really nervous. My Fitbit tells me how nervous I get. So, I would always take a picture and it'd be like zone minutes burned for the amount of time you were on stage. It's hilarious. I would send a screenshot like, guess who sang in class today?
That's funny. That's funny.
But I did voice for the first semester, and as part of our final, we had to audition for the musical. And then I did the musical in the summer. And then after that was this semester. So it's just been
A roller
nonstop.
coaster, yeah.
Nonstop
Yeah.
since January. So I'm really glad to have a break.
You should have a break.
Yeah.
You should have a break, but at least this was like an inspiration for you to like. This is what you want to do.
Yeah.
You want
This
to
is
at least
something I
kind of
wanna
pursue
keep
it.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I really do love that. That you're like, because when I started doing photography, I remember the first shoot I did, I was so freaking tired.
Yeah.
But I was telling him, like, is this how you feel? Like, you're so tired, but you feel so damn good about it?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I like it. It's addicting.
Yeah. It's, like, genuinely, I think my favorite experience has been the musical.
Oh,
It
cool.
was so, like, beautiful. It was so beautiful. I couldn't stop crying on the final night. Like, we did our last bows, and I didn't stop crying for, like, an hour. And I was like, this has been so, like, this is what I've been wanting for myself, and I couldn't give myself until now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it sucks that I couldn't do it when I was younger. There were so many opportunities for me in college the first go-around
Mm-hmm.
where I could have been doing this, and I just stopped myself for doing it for so long.
It was the right time for you to do it.
I think so, too.
That's what
I
it
think
is.
I needed
Sometimes
to
we
wait.
need to, like, mature and grow a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know? it's like my daughter, I had to pull her out from school because, you know, it just wasn't working, the system. So I was like, I need to pull her out so she can get a little bit more matured, like grow a little bit more. And when I put her back, it was perfectly fine. Yeah. That's what it is. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
You know, your brain is kind of protecting you from like, it's not the time right now.
Yeah.
So I'm being a little negative, but it's because it's not the time.
Yeah.
So, and then after when it's actually the time, your brain's like, all right, let's go to work.
Yeah.
And it works like that, which is so weird.
I know.
Well, where can anybody who wants, have you posted all those stuff on Instagram? Like your performances and stuff like that?
No. I don't even have a recording of like the performance I just did. I don't know. I haven't like thought about that, like putting myself out there as like here I do music. Like I post sometimes like, hey, I'm in a thing. Come, you can. Do
you think that's like the next step to do?
Maybe. I think I have to build myself up to do that.
No worries.
Still.
Because usually what we do is like, where can they find you? When this one, where can we find Randall?
No, yeah, you can find me on Randall's channel. I don't have my own.
Well, what we'll do is like, with your permission, we can put in like we'll pick which YouTube Christmas song would be ideal.
Yeah, I mean, Randall and I actually wrote a song during quarantine.
No way.
Yeah, we called it our corn track. It's called Lonesome Together.
Oh, okay, cool. So
yeah.
What we can do is we'll post the link and we'll post it on the YouTube, because it's not just podcast but also YouTube.
Cool.
So we'll add it in there with Mr. Producer here. Just send us a link for it. It's easier for Anthony.
Yeah. I got you. I can send that.
Yeah, it'll be like, here you go. Because normally I just say like, where can we find you? But in this case, to be continued, because you'll find her later.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm still reinventing myself.
No, that's okay.
I'm still getting comfortable doing it.
That is okay, because there are people who are going to listen to this that are probably not taking that step, and they're in the same position you're in.
Yeah.
You know, but you give them hope for it. You know, you give them hope, like, I'm not alone. This is what it's about. It's just knowing that you're not alone.
Yeah.
If you're feeling depressed or having negative thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. I sincerely hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. Thank you so much for joining us and listening. Don't forget to like, comment, leave a review, follow us on socials, and subscribe, because you won't want to miss the magic.